Wagwan guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I cannot complain myself. I just want to hit on a few key points. I believe in the last video I did on CU, I stated that they would beat Washington State, which they did not. They lost last night. I had to turn the game when I start seeing just like ridiculous plays, like that muffled snap. I'm not even going to take a long time to get into it. That muffled snap was ridiculous, man. I mean, they opened up with the ball, right? 3 and out. Washington State gets it back, score on that first drive. And then I believe it was the next possession that CU had offensively, it was a scoop and score. Ridiculous. And then I see it was so early in the game. I'm not too sure exactly the sequence, but it was super early in the game. It wasn't even halftime yet. I had just turned it on, and it was just rolling. The game was rolling. And the center snaps the ball. This guy, he didn't even call for it. He did not call for the ball. He didn't, no movement, no gestures for it. He just snapped it and then turns around and looks at him like with just the dumbest face. And I was like, man, some things you can't coach, and it's so true. And it's just very sad. You see these things happen all the time, and it's just something that it's an unknown to me why people favor towards that side of the game and players like that, and they go out and recruit these guys and give them starting jobs, and this is what happens, right? And Deion Sanders talked about just replacing the whole O-line next year, and you have people literally giving Shedeur up. So much to the point where when I seen that play, I think he was injured on that play, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a play he was injured on. They literally gave him up, just gave him up, just gave up their quarterback, which is like, it's sacrilegious. It's sacrilegious. That's what it is. It's sacrilegious. And he's out. He's hurt, in his arm. We've seen that injury with Joe Burrow somewhere in the arm, throwing arm. And listen, man, you don't want to give up your NFL career or just your career, period, trying to be Superman. No one's Superman, right? Okay. And they played to the end of the game, some of those guys. But you just have some people. Yeah. That late in the season, you're still jumping off sides. It's just, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? They pretty much knocked out 2 quarterbacks. You guys are their third quarterback, and he's just like, people are just throwing interceptions, just throwing the ball willy-nilly. Yes, Shedeur Sanders holds on to the ball a little bit too long. Right? You can put something on the O-line, but yeah, you hold on to the ball a lot, and you don't step up in the pocket, and leaning more to the side of he's not a running quarterback. He's not mobile. Yeah, he'll pick up a few yards. He's not nimble. He's really not fast. He looks very uncomfortable when he runs. He just doesn't look comfortable, and it is what it is. But he's a good quarterback. He's a very athletic. He will make plays with his feet. He will do that. I've seen him do that in the past. But he just, collectively to put together, something nice on film, I just haven't seen it. Right? I've seen it maybe 4 times this season. I've seen it. Right? And I would really say 3 times. And even with those 3 times, it was rough. Right? But just have a consistent, that consistency is what we're looking for. And you seen Travis Hunter get into a scuffle on the sidelines. And what that shows is just the team unraveling, the team falling apart. And that's what you see, and that's what you witness in that game. And You still got to, you got to give it to Washington State. You got to give it to those guys. They were just like, out coached. They were just better than those guys. They looked better. They were, you know what I'm saying? They were just better that night. What, these guys literally had the same record standing wise. Washington State was they were last. Okay. Washington State was last in their conference, in the Pac-12 conference. Same exact schedule. I mean, same exact record though. They had the exact record after the game. Washington goes 5-6, which applaud to those guys. They deserve it, I believe, and I really feel as if just the whole CU program is like letting their coach Deion Sanders hang out to dry. I thought Deion Sanders had a amazing post-game speech. It just shows you the depth of this man, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and but it's just one of those things where I'm not gonna make the video too long, but it's just like, do you really understand? And then you have conversations. You're like, okay, I can kind of get where he's coming from, but conversation's good. That's, I mean, hey, that's fine and dandy, but you put your name on that application. It's for a job, and people want you to do that a good job. They want you to complete that job, and you can say all sweet nothings. You can whisper that in people's ear, and it sounds good, but people want results. And at the end of the day, like I said, conversation was brought up, and it was like, hey, yeah, off the field and a lot of other things, numbers wise, I mean, people were saying they're falling head over heels with Deion Sanders and what he's doing with CU, but just the rest of the season, and yeah, you've won some more games. You won maybe 3 more games in the last year, but to not be bowl eligible, and it's sad, and when he did choose CU, I literally thought that was like one of the worst to like, yeah, it's a good school and it's all, but just like for a football program, they were never really good. You know what I'm saying? Never really good, right? And I just thought that was a very bad money wise, yeah, because he was struggling at Jackson State. That was something that was talked about. So he really was going. It was a money grab. He needed to get paid. They were willing to pay him. That's what it was about. Sales, in the millions for Deion Sanders shades. About the, the third game of the season. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. He did a lot of don't get it twisted. That coaching staff has put in hours. I don't know what they was talking about, but they had to be putting in some hours. I will say that. It's good football players out there. It really is. Just, I mean, half of that stuff you could literally blame on coaching. And I'm like, and for the life of me, I'm like, how did this guy get a helmet and shoulder pads, and why does he still have your helmet and shoulder pads on? That's just being real harsh at the end of the day. I feel as if that's really being harsh. But because the guys, then the next play, they'll make a good play. They'll make a good play, and you're like, wow, man, yeah, that was a good play. But the last play you did, it just, you have to it's consistency. You know what I'm saying? You put 2 plays together. One was just, one was all right, I guess, right? It had adversity in there, but the other one's a really good play. Now you have to continue to put those good plays together, and to create and put that on film so you can create something, right? Well, that's what I got for you guys, man. Peace. I'm out of here.